Hi everyone, it's Kim Dello here with a project share this week. So I've been totally loving watercolour and pen looks at the moment, and I've been doing a lot of experimenting and some playing around. So today's share is one of those experimental pieces with some tips and tricks that I hope you'll find useful for your next project. So shall we get started? For this project I wanted a smooth finish, so I'm using hot press watercolour paper with some artist quality watercolours as I'm going to really heavily dilute them. And I've also got some fine nibbed pens, a deep well palette, brushes and a heat tool, but the heat tool's not essential, you don't have to have one. This is a really simple image with just a background and a drawn focal point, but I want the background to be subtle but also to add some texture to the finished piece too. So I'm going for a really diluted paint wash with 3 colours, 2 that are going to work really well together and 1 that's going to be a bit more of a contrast colour to the other 2, something that you might not expect. But it will still work really well with one of the other colours. I'm just setting up the colour washes using lots of water, then testing each wash on a spare piece of watercolour paper, seeing if I like the dilution and also testing how the colours mix and run together before I start on the actual piece. I've also got a selection of brushes to hand because at this point I wasn't really sure which brush I wanted to use, but in the end I just used the same brush throughout. I'm now ready to do my background, and for this background I don't want a flat wash gradient. I want to encourage that lovely bloom texture you get when the edges of different areas of watercolour meet. You know that jagged edge look? What happens is, as the 2 areas meet, the one with the more water seeps into the other one, pushing the drier pigment with it until you get that lovely fractured edge look. So for this project, I want the 2 areas of watercolour to not be so wet that they just flood into each other, but wet enough so that you get that bloom. And if I can get those 2 areas to be pretty much near equal water, then hopefully that bloom will pretty much stay near enough to the join part where the 2 colours first meet, or thereabouts. If you push for time, let the bloom develop for as long as you possibly can, and then finish the drying off with a heat tool. But for the best results, it's much better to just let the paint dry naturally. So do make sure that the paint is completely dry before doing any of the pen work. So the element I'm using today is actually from one of the designs that I've been playing about with in my art slice recently. And I'm just going to roughly put it down first, and then I'm going to work my way around, giving it a bit more personality by varying the line thickness. So I hope you enjoy watching it develop. So, spill the beans. When you work with watercolours, are you a bloomer fan or do you try and avoid them? Let me know below, I'd love to hear. If you liked my video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and watch my other videos too. New ones coming out every week. Thanks for watching and I'll catch you next time.